Hey, what's going on, everyone? I thought this would be a fun one. Things Dutch people do that are disgusting in other countries. It's quite a sensational title. Let's check it out. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one of these. What do a country or a group of people, a generalized group of people do that it's considered disgusting in other countries? I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what these people come up with. Let's check it out. I'm Mace. I'm coming to you from Canada, so there's some context for you if you're new. Let's go.
Here it's almost like a public thing that you're just discussing what you do in the toilet and how you do it.
Discussing what you do in the toilet and how you do it. Well, it depends who you're talking to, I guess. Are you close enough to discuss?
Are there any habits
toilet
or
techniques
things that you see Dutch people do that in your own country would be, let's say, inappropriate?
Oh.
I see some Dutch people doing that after food.
It's just
I do that, and my wife hates it. I mean, I wash my hands before you eat with your hands, so I don't know.
Everything.
Yeah, it's just done, but they want
Finger
just
licking
to
good, baby.
Get every penny out of it.
Maybe when people bring a loaf of bread with a jar of Nutella and a jar of pindakaas, and then they dip the knife, make their little sandwich, then lick the knife, then dip it in the other condiment, and I'm like,
No.
you don't like that.
you don't mix your saliva in with the pot.
You don't mix your saliva in with the pot. I had a coworker that was a very pet peeve about that, because even when a bag of chips, she'd offer me chips, and she'd be like, no, because I'm gonna reach my hand in the bag of chips.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Maybe because you're half Dutch.
I don't even mix. I use two separate knives. I mean, I guess you could clean the say you're making a peanut butter and jam. You can't just spread the peanut butter and then put the peanut butter knife into the jam and then, right? You gotta use a fresh knife, or you gotta clean the peanut butter covered knife. Come on.
The whole leaving the shoes on in the house, it's not, I don't find it gross, but I find it really weird.
It's gross.
Because in Canada, it's you walk in, the first thing you do is, where do I put my shoes?
Yeah, do y'all leave the shoes on all the time? Or is it yeah, I don't know. Sometimes my dad or something will visit, or my parents, and it's yeah, you just leave your shoes on, they don't look dirty, But yeah, typically you don't want to be tracking in whatever's outside indoors, right?
And you ask them, where do I leave my shoes? And they're like, oh, just put them there, and then you take your shoes off, and that's it. But here, you just walk through the whole house, everywhere with your shoes on.
Even if you've just come from a muddy forest,
Yeah.
and they have
white floors, and you're just no,
you're
just
walking
leave them
around in
on,
your
it's
muddy
fine.
shoes.
Every time I go to the restroom and there's a Dutch girl in the stall next to me, sometimes they walk out without washing their hands. Even if you don't use soap, just rinse them.
I've noticed that you used to put the toilet just after the enter door. When you enter, you have the toilet right there. But we used to put it at the end of the house. Because, it's not nice to enter and see the toilet.
Well, in the Netherlands, you don't have the bidet. They need to use a toilet paper every time they go to the toilet, and they don't even use water to clean themselves after that. And when you ask them, why do you do that?
People not washing their hands. Come on, no. Are these just anecdotal?
They said, okay, we just have a shower every day. But still, you would use the toilet 4 times without using the bidet, and for me, that's disgusting.
The only thing that I really don't like and I don't understand is why do you need to have a sink in your room? Because this is the moist bringer, and when it drips, it's in a gel, so the drop by drop.
One thing I've heard that I'm pretty sure
A sink in the bedroom? Is that what she said?
Dutch is having the calendar in your toilet. Dutch? Yeah. Yeah, see, I grew up...
A calendar in the toilet?
No, looking back on it, it's
smart. You can plan your week. Well,
Here, when you're having dinner with Dutch people and they have to go to the toilet, they just say, I'm going to the WC. Whereas in Italy, we say excuse me for a minute. And then, of course, no one is going to ask you, what are you going to do? Because you're just going to tell him, hey, I'm going to the toilet. But here you say, I'm going to the WC.
And they actually, they say I'm going there to do this.
Yeah, they tell you they have
my
to,
dad does that,
They have to drop the kids off the pool.
oh, yeah.
Huge shit, sorry. 1 minute, I'll be back.
I don't think Dutch people would care. I mean, they would go, I have to poop, okay. Don't be like that. Yeah. Like, if you said a lot of the things that the Dutch say, if you said that in Ireland, you would have
People would raise their
problems.
eyebrows, yeah.
I think more than their eyebrows.
Oh ja, boodschappen, toch?
Grote boodschap.
Ja, grote boodschappen. I think it's a little bit strange because then you put like buy stuffs and just put big in together in one word, then you're going to the toilet to it your business.
And like the stalls are different. Like here the stalls are literally like a stall like for horses. Like and
So
like
bad.
they have like really big gaps underneath.
like this much
so, like you can
underneath.
see like your full like shoe, like your full like leg practically.
Yeah, and like in between the door, there's like a crack.
Yeah.
This video so far is primarily about the toilet and going to the bathroom.
Wide. So if you're walking, you can make eye contact with someone while they're peeing, and
It's so disgusting.
It's so uncomfortable.
Because here it's almost like a group activity. Everyone just goes in together, pisses together, and then comes out together. And I have never understood why they do that. But
there are these toilets in the street, and there was one guy. He was using the toilet, but the other one was in the other side, and he was doing the same. And it was, oh my God, just wait.
On festivals, we also get this, like, you know, this get like it looks like a star, and it's like just this tall, and it's in the middle of the festival, and the man just go there and pee, and you can even get eye contact with the guy who's standing in front of you.
Dutch people like.
I've seen those things. I mean, they're good at like music festivals. I think they should still be in like a little area that's like give a little bit of privacy. I think would be good for those. Like, just so you don't have like that visual of like some people peeing right there in front of everybody.
Try to put their bag on the ground, put their bags at random on the street when they are talking.
We don't put it back in the floor or backpack or anything.
How I don't know how they call this, but
The Dutch word is in je neus peuteren.
okay, in your nose peuteren. Okay, they actually do this.
I see a couple, and they were almost having sex in the street. There was, I think they were drunk, but they were almost having sex in a public place.
I'm trying to think of foods that are like food habits that are gross.
It'd be a good show.
Yeah, me
I
too.
feel like there's
I feel
probably
like I
some
always
there.
like put like food with grossness.
They'll have, for instance, steak or like, I don't know, a breakfast and uitsmijten, and they'll cut it all up into pieces, and then they'll eat piece. You know, you're kind of a child because children have all of the pieces cut up by their parents, and then they eat them. So I see it, and I think
That's good. I like to do that. That's a good call. Eat your vegetables first, then savor the meats.
looks kind of strange to me.
At the Sinter class, they're just throwing these small, not candies, but these cookies, small cookies for the kids, and the kids start to eat it from the ground.
yeah, I mean,
mayonnaise. I really, really don't like mayonnaise, and you guys put it on everything, and you sneak it in the menu. What's with?
I always remember that scene at the beginning of. Funny enough, I'm holding it. The thought it's a cassette of Pulp Fiction, but you know the scene at the beginning with the two hitmen, Vincent and Jules, and he talks about his trip to Amsterdam and how, you know, mayonnaise is on everything instead of, or they use mayonnaise for their French fries and Royale with cheese.
With the poke bowl and mayonnaise on the rice. Like, that's just gross. Like, mayonnaise on rice is gross. So it wasn't on the menu that it had mayonnaise in the sauce, but it's there, and I don't like mayonnaise. And so that is the worst part of the Netherlands for me.
Mayonnaise is the worst part of the Netherlands. All right, you guys. Some interesting thoughts on that one. It's primarily to do with the bathroom, wearing shoes in the house. Some of that directness too. Nothing too bad. However, you should definitely wash your hands after the bathroom. Like, I don't know if that's like just like an anecdotally thing or that's culturally normal in the Netherlands, which I don't know. I was just always taught to wash my hands, and like that's cleanliness, hygiene, and all of that. You know, you want to prevent prevents getting sick and stuff like that, right? And just overall hygiene. But what else do we have in there? The shoes inside. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of wearing shoes all around the house because, you know, if you're outside, you could step on gum or, you know, dog pee, dirt, grime, spit. Like, there's so many things. Like, it depends where you're walking, I guess. But yeah, if you're walking outdoors, there's always that possibility. What else did we have in there? Talking about, it's mainly to do with the bathroom. All right, I'll let you guys discuss. Let me know in the comments. Peace.